Let me check if we are live. Yes, let me know if I'm live. I cannot see it from here, but I think I'm live. So hello everyone. I see that there are a few people joining in already. Yeah, I think we are live now. Hello everyone. Just let me know where you are joining from and leave your questions before we start. We'll start in about 3 or 4 minutes. Yeah, hi Saurabh, how are you? Great to see you here. Yeah, I think I know a lot of people who joined the stream now. So that's great. I'll try to keep this one very short so that we can wrap it up quickly. All right, Ashish. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. And also let me know if my voice is clear. Oh, you're from Jammu. Great. Another 2 or 3 minutes and then we'll start. Yeah, I'm good too. I've been under the weather this week, so my voice will sound a bit different. But yeah, I cannot do much about it today. Hi, Nishita. Okay, okay, great. Thank you, Saurabh. All right. We'll wait for another 2 minutes. We'll wait for some more people to join in. Yeah, hi, Keshika. Great to see you here. All right, I think we can start now. So other people may join in later. Yeah, so quick announcement. So I'll not be conducting a session next week due to Diwali, and even in the coming weeks, I'll be conducting these alternate weeks, or I'll see how it goes because I'm planning, to uh, make something different out of it and have it white labeled or something like that. So I'll be recent Figma updates. Yeah, I'll be discussing them today. So I have the variants feature that I'm going to be discussing today, and also auto layout, which is going to be announced. Like some modifications are going to be announced in that also soon. I'll be discussing the variants feature today, and also how you can create high level components using smaller components such as text, color, buttons, and such things. Yeah, hi Leher. So yeah, I think we can get started now. So yeah, I'll just start sharing my Figma screen. Okay, so here it is. Right, so let us see what we have in the agenda today. So first is how to create high level components. Then we have variants and auto layout. Then we have patterns, and after that we have how to use a design system. Right, so I'll be moving over each of these topics very briefly. So the first one is I will move on to patterns first. All right, so this is something you might not have heard because this is something that is not talked about. So let us see the definition of patterns first. So the pattern basically are reusable combination of components that solve common user problems. So You might not be able to understand what it means, but it basically means that whenever you are using a certain kind of navigation or a certain kind of component, there are some patterns in it. So, for example, here this is from the Atlassian design system. I have it linked in the Notion doc in the description. So you can open the Notion doc, and I have a header by the name of patterns in which this link is there. Okay, so this I have taken from the page header part of it, from the patterns. Right. So what it means is that they follow some best practices. So if someone joins in your design team, say 10 months after, or even 2 or 3 months after you have created a design system, they must not come up with their own, philosophies of how the design system should work and how everything else should work. So patterns help you create a very robust system in which you can, follow some repeatable or reusable patterns or reusable guidelines. So in here, Atlassian has some recommendations for how to use their design system or how they use it. All right. Yeah, I see some more people. Hi Ajita. Hi Garima. Yeah, auto layouts. Auto layout is something very interesting. And see, so they have these 5 or 6 things mentioned. All right. So they have a grid. All right, which is the page that they have, and then they have a breadcrumb. Breadcrumb is just the navigation structure to tell you where you have come from and where you are in the navigation structure. Then they have the title. All right. Then they have the buttons on the right hand side. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Ashish. And then you have the search bar filter. So whenever a top bar is used, they follow this structure. All right. And similarly in forms, they have this structure wherein the form has some labels, which are the text fields basically. Then the required field label and how it is to be shown. And then they have the width of these elements. So if the element is a very short, it requires only a short prompt or a drop down, they can have it at 75 pixel or 150 pixel, and 250 pixel, 350 pixel, and 500 pixel is the max. If the say if you are asking for a name and the name tends to be long. All right, so this is how patterns are followed. So creating components is one thing, and fitting them into patterns is another. So patterns really help you scale your designs and scale your component library or design system to the max, so that anyone who comes into the team later on can follow these patterns and be on the same page as you are, and be of the same thoughts as you were when you designed the design system. All right, so this is something I wanted to get off my chest really quickly. So if you ever create a design system, make sure that you have some kind of a pattern going on, such that you have a primary button on right or left, or and follow it to, follow it wherever you can possibly can. And if it breaks sometimes, just declare it as an exception. All right. So yeah, this was something about patterns, and now I'll be moving over very briefly how to create some high level components. But before that, let us go over what we created last time. So last time we created a color palette for ourselves, so for our design or our app design, and we have named it. All right, so these colors are named in terms of 100, 200, 300, and successing in that order. Okay, so the lightest shade is 100, and the darkest one increases in value. All right, and these are my primary colors. These are three primary shades, and these are my error states. All right, these colors might look very bland to you, but I told you the reason behind it, because the color that we chose before were not accessible on this white color text. Okay, so we created a very simple component which is of our button. Okay, so you might see that this is a button which is in auto layout. Right. So what happens in auto layout is there are 2 or 3 things that you can do. So let me create another type of button. So this is a primary button, and you just look at the naming here, and I'll come to this naming later. This will be used in variants. Okay, so button primary. So let us divide it into, some sections. So this is the category of our component. This is the type of the type of that button, and this is the size, and this is the icon or without icon. So I'll show you how we can make use of it later on. All right, so let us duplicate this button, and then right click on it and detach it from the parent component. Okay, so you might see that it doesn't have the diamond shape anymore. Right, so now I want some icon inside it. Okay, so let me just search for an icon here, or I think we have some icons. All right, so let me just drag and drop an icon inside. So you can see that as I dropped the icon in the auto layout, as the auto layout was set to vertical, all the elements inside it were will be stacked vertically. So if I don't want that, I want the icon to be on the left hand side or the right hand side, then I will change it to horizontal. Okay, and then I'll reduce the icon size because I don't want such a huge icon, and then I'll also give it an alignment. So no matter how big this button size gets, this icon will be centered. Also, this text will be centered inside it. We can set it to any other thing, whatever we want. Okay, I'll show you with an example. I'll set it to top, and I'll set the button to center. So when I increase the button size, you will see that the text is sorry, the text is aligned to the top, but the button is aligned to the center of this button. Okay, so I don't want that to happen. I want both of these to be aligned to the center, and I'll reduce the size. I'll reduce the spacing between them. Okay, so there is a trade-off with this. There's a trade-off with having two elements inside an auto layout, and then let me just make it from scratch. So I have this button, and I'll add some text here. Say click. Okay, so let us add the click functionality here. Which button is this? Okay, I'll be deleting this one, right? I don't want this here. Okay, I'll delete it from my library. Yeah, so this is my so if I want the button to be of this text size and this icon size, what I'll do is I'll just place them side by side, select them both, and select the auto layout. So you can see it is inside a horizontal auto layout. So whatever next element I add inside it, so if I have clicked on text and I click on Control or Command D, all the duplications of this text would be stacked horizontally. Okay, so I'll just give it some padding, 8 from left and right and 8 from top and bottom, and I'll add a fill color, our primary color, and I'll change the icon and text color to white. So all of this is from my component library that we created the last time. So the color is from my component library. You can see here everything is from that. Nothing is defined individually for a screen or for a button. Everything is from a source, right? So the difficulty with this type of a button is that if I want that this button should have a flexible width, I cannot have that because I will have to increase the padding, right? But this sometimes doesn't work. Say if I am fitting it in a iPhone frame is 375 width. So for example, if I have to fit two equal size buttons, then that is not possible because this button will come out to some um, odd number, and I'll not be able to fit this button inside my bottom navigation or something. So what you can do in that case is just select the internal two elements and put them inside a frame. So shortcut is Control Alt G or Command Option G. So once we have that, what we can do is we can set it to vertical. And since this is a singular element, which is a frame, and this is inside an auto layout, I can adjust its width. And this button, this frame would be centered inside this auto layout. So I can set it to center. All right. So this is how it will be done, and this is how you can create a fluid button with the not fixed width. uh, Otherwise what you had to do is, if I ungroup it now or move it out of the frame and have it at the vertical auto layout, then they will be stacked top and bottom. But if I have them inside a frame, then I don't have that issue. I can just adjust the I can adjust the spacing between them and they'll be centered still. Okay, so just fit it inside the frame since the text gets increased or not. So this is how you can set you can make a button which is of fluid width and otherwise you'll not be able to create it if you have those two elements individually inside the auto layout. And now what I'll be doing is I'll be naming this button something. So I'll copy the naming from here. Okay. And I'll just tilt the naming. I'll just change the naming here. I'll just name it like icon slash no. Okay. So you can follow any type of naming. This one has worked for me in the past. And I'll now be naming this one icon slash left. Okay. And then I'll create a component out of it. Okay. So this is my parent component. I'll duplicate this, detach it from the parent. Okay, detach it and then just come inside this part and just interchange the positions. Okay, so now I'll be naming it right and then create a component out of it also. So I'll now send them to my symbols page which we created the last time. So now I have three buttons. Okay, one is my primary button with no icon, one is my primary button with icon on left, one is my primary button with icon on right. Now I want that it is I want that I should be able to create variants with them. So naming is very important while creating variants. So select all of these three, select combine as variants, and then you have these properties here. Okay, so what we can do is we can have say we can have this property. This one is category. This is category. Primary is the category. We can also create secondary and tertiary and have it inside it, and then we can have size. Okay, we don't have the smaller size button, we'll create it. And we can have we can have icon. All right, so this one doesn't work here, so I can delete this property from here. Okay, so what I'll do instead is that I have this primary large. So if you rename it now, you will see that all the properties that are on the right hand side are depicted on the button name. So I'll click on, I'll add another property icon in this which was missing. So you can see that it says on the right hand side selected variant is missing one or more property. So I'll add that property and I'll add icon slash no. Okay, so now if I come to this parent, I'll be able to see that it is right. So it is not still doing it. We'll have to make a few changes. Right. So let us see. Okay, okay. I think we'll have to name it also in a different way. Yeah, this is property 4. We'll have to name it icon, and here also we'll have to name it icon. And you can add any number of properties inside a button. This is what works for me best. And now you can see that I have it set exactly how I wanted it. So if I use it in my design now, if I use this button in my design, right, if I click on this button, so I think this is, yeah, so on the right hand side you will see that there are more options here. So I can select the category. Okay, I can select the size, and I can select what side I want the button on. Okay, so this is very easily toggleable button that I have made. And let me show you an example. So this is the file that I created, open source file. And here I have, so these are all my buttons. Okay, so these are all the permutation and combination that I applied to the button. And this is a button, primary button, this is the disabled state, this is the enabled state. Okay, so in here what I have done is I have created all the types of buttons and all the states of this button, and then I have also created multiple types of buttons. So the naming convention I have used here is size, then category, then state, then with icon or without icon. You can also play around with the states. So you can bring the state up, you can bring the state down, you can bring the icon availability up, icon availability down, and similarly the buttons will be renamed. So whatever button now I use, so let me just bring in a button. So if I type in button, right, I will just bring in one button. So all my 39 types of buttons have come into this one button, and I can toggle all the properties of this button. Okay, so if I want a large button, I have the large button. I am converting it to small, then I'll convert it to secondary, then I'll convert it to with icon. And if it is with icon, then I can also select the state. Okay, I can select press state or not press state. All right, so these are some of the properties that we have. And in this one I don't have buttons, button with the icon on right hand side. but this would work if you even create it on the right hand side. Just follow the naming convention and you'll be good to go. All right, and similarly, in I have a bottom navigation in which I have three states. So if I want the first tab to be active, I can select that, and if I want second tab to be active, third tab to be active, and so on. Okay, and I also have other components which I have inside my variants. So this is my snack bar. So this is a very simple variant, application of variant. I have it as default, then error, information, and success. So just make sure that you nail the naming, and everything else will fall into place automatically. So if you want to, learn about naming convention, I have this file linked in the description. You can just go to the link. All right, you can go to the link and then duplicate this file. And yeah, so if you want to deep dive into it, I have everything, almost everything under variants, and you can create your variants on your own also. So here you can see that I have tabs, right? So if I bring in a tab, I can select which state is it and if I have the icon or not. I have icon on top, left, and then no icon at all. So this is how you can create variants, and naming is of the utmost importance, and having a structured naming or layered naming will help you create a very scalable system ahead. So this is how you create buttons in auto layout, and also you can create different types of auto layouts, horizontal or vertical. I'll just demonstrate another one very quickly. So I have moved on to creating buttons. Okay, so you have created buttons. Now let us move on to creating an auto layout which is scalable. Okay, so you can see here that this looks very simple. Okay, this looks like a very simple layout. So say you are using Instagram, you are seeing this feed, and then you select an image to upload, and then you are on the uploading page. So what you see on uploading page is you have a section to add a caption, okay, in which you can add any number of lines. And you might have seen that whenever you add increase the number of lines, this image remains in the center of the number of lines that you have. Okay, so I will create this layout, or yeah, so I'll just add some text, random text. I'll just duplicate this, add a caption, right? So you'll be able to see. So it has stopped pasting for some reason. I'll copy text from somewhere else. Okay, I'll copy text from one of my videos, and then I'll add it here to show you how it will work inside an auto layout. Okay, so I have this text here. I will paste the text that I just copied, right? So you will see that no matter how much text is there inside, the image is centered to the uh, height of the text. Okay, so how did I make this happen? It is very simple. Okay, so what we'll do first is we'll just duplicate this frame and then just delete everything inside it. So this is a button which is a scalable button in terms of its width. What I'll do is I'll just have a rectangle here and then add an image from Unsplash. You can choose any random image. Okay, and this is just for demonstration purposes. So I have added an image here. This image is added, and then I'll add some text. So add a caption text. So this is the caption that I will be adding. And now let's just select these two elements and add them to auto layout. Alright, so this is the auto layout, and I want that this text should come up till here. Okay, and make sure that you have this make sure that you make the spacing right, and you have the text property set to auto height and not have it as this one. So if you have it as this one, then whatever text you type inside will assume the width of whatever text you are typing and not the height. So we want the width to remain the same, but we want the height to increase. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll align this to the top, and we'll align this image to the center of the auto layout. So now if I paste some text inside, let me just reduce the text size so you guys can see it better, that the image is aligned to the center. So this is how you can, this is how simply you can create an auto layout in which you want some element to align to the center, some element that you want to align to the top. If I change it to center, it will not affect it as much. But if I change the image to align to top, no matter how much text I keep typing, the image will be aligned to the top of the auto layout. Okay. And if you want to create some more complex layouts, so let me just give you an example. Let me just grasp this image from here. Okay, just copy this image, right, and duplicate it outside and create a card. Okay, so you might have seen cards all over the apps that you use. Okay, so this is my card and I'll add some text here. Right, I'll copy this text here, just one line of text, title. Right, so I'll increase the size a bit, 20, and then I'll add a subtitle. Right, so this is a subtitle, this is the title. And what I'll do now is that I'll reduce its size. I'll add the subtitle and title into one auto layout. Okay, so they maintain their spacing, and I'll select this auto layout and this image, and I'll add this whole into an auto layout again. So I'll align it to the left, both of them, and then reduce the spacing between them a bit. Okay, so I'll reduce the spacing to say 8, and then whatever text I type in or whatever image, I no matter how small or big the image is, it will automatically increase or decrease its width. Okay, so this is how you can create an auto layout. And if you now want to add another layer, I can add a button inside it also. Okay, so I can add a button inside this auto layout. Mm, there is some issue with Figma today. Yeah, so if I have to add a button, yeah, so let me just select a button real quick. So let me select this button and add it to this auto layout. I can select its position, I can move it to top to bottom or wherever I want it. Let me just make the height of this button a bit smaller and then fit it. Okay, so going back to this instance, and I can also select where I want it. Okay, so if I want it to the right, I can also add another button and select these two buttons and add them to another auto layout. Okay, and add them to horizontal auto layout and make this horizontal auto layout aligned to the right hand side of the card. So what you will see is that no matter how much text I so this is not, the button is not an auto layout itself. I'll make it an auto layout now. This button is an auto layout and I'll give padding of 8 and 8, reduce the button size, text size, and then just, yeah. So if I now go on to its instance, you can see that these two buttons are aligned to the right hand side, and this whole card is an auto layout. Okay, so this is a vertical auto layout, so I'll not be able to adjust the height. I'll only be able to adjust the width, but I can adjust the height if I add more lines of text to this subtitle text. Okay, so you can see that the spacing is being maintained, and this is how you can create complex auto layouts in Figma. And this can be a component, these are already components, and image can also be a component, and this whole thing can be a further component for you. So this is how you use a design system. You combine smaller elements from it and then you create a larger element. So if you are using any type of design system or a component library, just just combine smaller elements. So let me just show you how you can do that. So if I were to use the components of a design system and create a high level component such as this one, such as a card, what I'll do is I'll just have two buttons aligned side by side. I'll add them to auto layout. Okay, and then I'll have some text. I'll add it as title and then some text as subtitle, and increase this size of this text here, and right, and add these two inside an auto layout, and then just add an image. So I have image categories here. I'll add the square image for now, and this is also in a variant for me. So rectangle is one, and square is one, and circle is one. So I'll use the square one, and I can scale it as much as I want, and then add these three inside an auto layout also. Yeah, add these three inside an auto layout. Just press Shift A if you don't see the option on the right. Okay, and you know add these two inside an auto layout again, and adjust the spacing and make this align to the right. And yeah, this is how simply you can create a card using smaller level components inside a design system or a component library. Right. So yeah, this is how you can you make use of component library to create high level components. And if you don't find any component inside it, then just create one of your own by combining smaller level components, and then just create a component and name it something whatever you want it to be. All right. So yeah, this is something that I had to cover today, and let us see what we have next. Yeah, so we have, I think, covered most of it up till now. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Otherwise, I'll be, creating some random screen from the design library that I have. And till then, another thing that I had to mention today was, yeah, I have created a file, an open source file, which has all kinds of animations in it. So if you want, then you can duplicate this file. I've been receiving a good enough response from it. If you go to the link in the description or the Notion doc in the description, you can see that this file is linked there. It has all the animation that I have created till date, and you can follow along and see what properties I have used in it and what all other things I have used to create such animations. So if you are interested in it, then go ahead and duplicate this. It will be a great help to me. And yeah, just let me know if you have any other questions. Yeah, I don't see any questions. So yeah, I'll just move ahead and I'll just do a small screen design exercise. So this component library that I created, it is to cater to iPhones, but all the components are responsive, and you can use it for any other device. They will scale down or scale up according to that device. So if I make it inside an iPhone, so what I'll do is I'll go on to assets, then type in system, or I'll type in bar. Okay, so I have this status bar here. Okay, and the next thing I want is a navigation bar. Okay, so I have this navigation bar with three icons. Okay, so and if I want that, I want to create a screen which has detail of some some product. So I'll type in image. So this is my image here. So if I have to use it, use the bag image. Okay, so if the product is the bag, I'll scale it up and then place it. And now if I want, I have also the position slider. Yeah, thank you, Azita. I have this position slider. Okay, so you can also customize it, according to variants. You can have it named as position slider slash one, position slider slash two, three, four, five, so on, and then you can select which one you have to keep active. And now if I want some details of it, so I'll click type in info. Okay, I can type in which brand it is. So say it is Wildcraft, and then the name is Red Bag or something. And here we can have the pricing of it. So the pricing is I don't have the rupee symbol. So say the pricing is $39 and some cents or something. And then I can also have a tag here. Okay, showing the rating of it. I have tags in one common variant, and I can change the rating of it to whatever I want. And then I want sections here, so I have the component name header. Okay, so I'll select this one and just add it here. Okay, so now I have added it here, and now I can add some random text here, which I can pull off from any product website. So let me see what text I had copied. Yeah, this is the text, and we can align it. Okay, so we can align it, and this is how simply you can build upon a design system or a component library and select all the other elements within the design library, and create very quick mockups or very quick designs for your screens or for your app. So this is how it's done, and if you guys have any questions till then let me know. Otherwise, I think this is all from this session, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. I'll do it every 2 weeks, and I'll see how I can scale this up. And yeah, let me know what topics you want me to cover next. And if you have any questions, I'll be hanging around here for another 5 minutes. And yeah, oh, I think I'm on the wrong screen. I didn't switch the screen. Just let me just come back. Okay, I'll have to do it all over again. But yeah, there's no issue with that. I think I was on the wrong screen all the time while telling you how to use a component library. Yeah, happy Diwali. Yeah, so let me just move over this very quickly, right? So if I have a component library, I have it linked in the description, so you can go on and duplicate it. So if you type in bar, you can have the status bar and align it to the top. Then you can have the navigation bar, which is the navigation main navigation bar that we have, and align it to the bottom of this status bar. And then we can have an image. So if you are making a product page, we can have an image here, and then scale it up to whatever size we want. So these all are components inside the component library that I have made. I'm just telling you how to use it. And if you want some information about it, you can click on info and have this info pair, subheading, heading pairs, and make sure that you follow the spacing system that you have set up. So if it is wildcraft, okay, so this is wildcraft here, then the product name, orange bag or something, right? So we can have this here, and the pricing here, 120. Okay, and we can also have some rating on the side. So I can have tag. I can select the type of tag I have and select the rating from here, make its rating something else. And then if I want some sections, I can choose header, right? I can choose what type of header I want, small or big. And then I can add some text here. So say this text I want here. This is all the text I want from the for the product. And let me just shrink it and select one of the colors from our component library. And this is how simply you can mock up your designs and create a product page for yourself. All right, so this is how you use a design system. This is how you use a component library. And if you want to make this a reusable element, then combine these three and create a component out of them. All right, so this is how you will create high level components and use a design system or a component library to match your design needs. Not every design system or component library will have the elements or components that you want, but it will have the smaller building blocks of it. So just make use of them and create higher level components. Okay, yeah, so I think this is it from this session. And yeah, that is really quick. I'm really fascinated by how component libraries and design systems can help us design faster and also better. In some aspects, we don't have to think much about the visual design. We don't have to think much about the color palette and things like that. You just have to drag and drop and just edit whatever is there inside. So if I want to change this icon, I'll immediately be able to change this icon to whatever I want. So this is how you do it. And yeah, this is all from my side today. If you guys have any questions, just I'll be hanging here for another minute or two. And yeah, I'll be doing it a bit I'll be doing it fortnightly now, not every week, because I have to focus on some other work. And yeah, let me know how you found this session, and I'll see you after the Diwali weekend. I think I'll have a Webflow session or something. And yeah, thank you everyone for attending, and I'll see you soon. And keep watch out this space for new content, and keep suggesting new topics. Yeah, thank you so much. Have a great week ahead, and happy Diwali.